unemployed that has found employment. We have to be able to thank God for the individual that was in the hospital that's now at home. We have to be able to thank God for the individual where the doctor said we thought we was going to lose him, but he got out the bed and he was on his way home. We have to be able to thank God for the woman and the man that's thinking about getting married. They don't want to shack up no more. We have to be able to thank God for the individuals that have the vision that's trying to pursue their visions. We have to be able to thank God for the good things that's happening in this world. We cannot continue to give too much glory to the negative, because then we give Satan glory. We can't give all that evil, all that energy, without giving God some energy, without giving God some time. We got to be able to thank God for when you didn't have a hot plate and a hot plate showed up at your door. You got to be able to thank God and think back when you didn't think you was going to make it, and you woke up one day and you couldn't believe you got to where you are today. We got to be able to thank God for when we thought we was down and we got up one day. Where did that strength come from? We want to be able to thank God for the child that has his father, or for the child that has his mother. We want to be able to thank God for the child that's at home with mommy and daddy. We got to be able to thank God for the families that we do have. We got to be able to thank God for the individuals that are traveling in the righteous way and a positive path. We got to give God the glory for the individuals that are trying to go right. We got to be able to thank God for the individuals that are trying to look right. We got to be able to thank God for the man that gets up every day to provide for his family. We got to be able to thank God for the individual that comes home to his wife, that comes home to his children, that's not hanging out outside. We got to be able to thank God for the man that is trying to go right. We got to be able to thank God for the child that is obeying his mother. We got to be able to thank God for the child that is obeying his father. We got to be able to thank God for the police officer that is doing his job. We got to be able to thank God for the individual that is respecting authority. We got to be able to thank God for the things that are going right in the world. Because if we give too much energy to the negative, we promote that negative energy. See, they show us all this negativeness so that we're conscious of all this negativeness that's going on, so that when we go out in the world, we already have been subconsciously programmed to think negative about one another. They've already subconsciously programming us to think negative about our serve and protect. They want us to subconsciously to think negative about one another. Got to look over our back, got to watch our neighbors. Got to look over our back, got to watch the people we work with. They want us to subconsciously to not trust one another. Want us walking around in all this fear. Everybody's scared. Don't nobody know what's going to happen tomorrow. Everybody's walking around in all this fear. They want us walking in fear. They want us worried. They want us stressed out, sick, beat down, not able to get up, not able to be able to see that we got life, that we got roofs over our head. We got to be able to thank God for the individual that's outside right now asking for change, because he ain't gave up. We got to be able to thank God for the individual that's going to the rehab, because he ain't gave up. We got to be able to thank God for the individuals that's in the correctional facilities that's reading and educating themselves. They got a plan for when they get out. We got to know when to thank God. A lot of times we get so into all the things that's going wrong. What about the things that's going right? What about the things that's going right? What about the young girl that found love? What about the young man that found love, that hated themselves, that was contemplating suicide, contemplating killing themselves? What about when hope showed up? What about when love showed up? We got to be able to thank God for the young man that decided to get his life right, decided to change his mind, decided to change his way of life. We got to be able to thank God for that individual. Sometimes we think so much on the things that's going wrong in our community, but what about the individual things that's going right? We got to be able to thank God for those things. We got to be able to give God the glory. We didn't come here by chance. We came here because we didn't give up. We got to be able to thank God for giving us the strength to not have gave up. When we want to lay down and throw our hands down and give up. We got to be able to thank God that we didn't give up and we got up. But now God looks at us and He says, listen, I lifted you up and don't lift your brothers and sisters up. I picked you up and don't pick your brothers and sisters up. Go get your sons and daughters and lift them up. Put in them what I put in you. When you were contemplating suicide, put the love in them that I put in you that made you change your mind. God said, put in them what I put in you. Raise them up, pick them up like I picked you up. God said, I took you there so you can bring them where I took you to. God said, I chose you. I picked you out the struggle. Because I believe that you were going to get those that are struggling and bring them to it. And take them to it. God said, never forget where you came from, because when you was where you was at, you didn't have nobody to turn to, but you turned to the God. You turned to the Father. So we can't get lax now because it's not over with. See, the enemy comes and make us get lax. We get to a certain place in life and we get comfortable. Say things is not as bad as they was. Things they got better. Now we think it's time to party. That's how the enemy come in and he tricks us. We start partying every night. We forget how we got to where we had to work